Hey guys, Lord Naren White here, the Holy Ghost, the one true God. Back with you with the next video in our series, Great Expectations. Without further ado, returning to Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. I stood, with a hand on the chair back and a hand on my breast, where I seemed to be suffocating. I stood so, looking wildly at him, until I grasped at the chair, where the room began to surge and turn. He caught me, drew me to the sofa, put me up against the cushions, and bent on one knee before me, bringing the face that I now well remembered, and that I shuddered at, very near to mine.
Yes, Pip, dear boy, I've made a gentleman on you. It's me what has done it. I swore that time, sure as ever I earned a guinea, that guinea should go to you. I swore afterwards, sure as ever I speculated and got rich, you should get rich. I lived rough, that you should live smooth. I worked hard, that you should be above work. What odds, dear boy? Do I tell it for you to feel an obligation? Not a bit. I tell it for you to know as that there hunted dunghill dog what you kept life in. Got his head so high that he could make a gentleman, and Pip, you're him.
The abhorrence in which I held the man, the dread I had of him, the repugnance with which I shrank from him, could not have been exceeded if he had been some terrible beast.
Looky here, Pip. I'm your second father. You're my son. More to me nor any son. I've put away money, only for you to spend. When I was a hired out shepherd in a solitary hut, not seeing no faces, but faces of sheep till I half forgot what men's and women's faces was like. I see yourn. I see drops my knife many a time in the hut when I was a-eatin' my dinner or my supper, and I says, here's the boy again, a-looking at me whiles I eats and drinks. I see you there a-many times, as plain as ever. I see you on them misty marshes. Lord, strike me dead, I says each time, and I goes out in the air to say it under the open heavens. But what if I gets liberty and money? I'll make that boy a gentleman. And I done it. Why, look at you, dear boy. Look at these here lodgings of yourn, fit for a lord. A lord. Ah, you shall show money with lords for wagers, and beat 'em.
In his heat and triumph, and in his knowledge that I had been nearly fainting, he did not remark on my reception of all this. It was the one grain of relief I had.
Looky here,
he went on, taking my watch out of my pocket and turning towards him a ring on my finger, while I recoiled from his touch, as if he had been a snake.
a gold un and a beauty. That's gentleman's, I hope. A diamond all set round with rubies. That's a gentleman's, I hope. Look at your linen, fine and beautiful. Look at your clothes, better ain't to be got. And your books, too, turning his eyes round the room, mounting up on their shelves by hundreds. And you read 'em, don't you? I see you'd be a-reading of them when I come in. Ha ha ha! You shall read 'em to me, dear boy, and if they're in foreign languages. What? I don't understand. I shall be just as proud if I did.
Again, he took both my hands and put them to his lips, while my blood ran cold with me.
Don't you mind talking, Pip?
Said he, after again drawing his sleeve over his eyes and forehead, as a click came in his throat which I well remembered. And he was all the more horrible to me, that he was so much in earnest.
You can't do better nor keep quiet, dear boy. You ain't looked slowly forward to this, as I have. You wasn't prepared for this, as I was. But didn't you never think it might be me? Oh, no, 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 I returned. Never, never! Well, you see, it was me, and single-handed. Never a soul in it, but my own self and Mr. Jaggers. Was there no one else? I asked. No, said he, with a glance of surprise. Who else should there be? And dear boy, how good-looking you have grown. There's bright eyes somewhere, eh? Isn't there bright eyes somewhere? What? You love the thoughts on?
Oh, Estella, Estella.
There shall be yourn, dear boy, if money can buy. Not that a gentleman like you, so well set up as you, can't win him off his own game, but money shall back you. Let me finish what I was telling you, dear boy. From that there hut, and that there hiring out, I got money left by me and my master, which died. I got money left me by my master, that's important to make the distinction, which died, and had been the same as me, and got my liberty and went for myself. In every single thing I went for you. Lord, strike a blight upon it, I says. Whatever it was I went for, if it ain't for him. It all prospered wonderful, as I give you to understand just now. I'm famous for it. It was the money left me, and the gains of the first few year what I sent home to Mr. Jaggers. All for you, when he first come arter you, agreeable to my letter.
Oh, that he had never come, that he had left me at the forge, far from contented, yet by comparison happy.
And then, dear boy, was a recompense to me, looky here, to know in secret that I was making a gentleman. The blood horses of them colonists might fling up the dust over me as I was walking. What do I say? I says to myself, I'm making a better gentleman nor ever you'll be. When one of 'em says to another, he was a convict a few year ago, and is an ignorant common fellow now. For all he's lucky, what do I got to say? I says to myself, if I ain't a gentleman, nor yet ain't got no learning, I'm the owner of such. All on you owns stock and land, which on you owns a brought-up London gentleman. This way I keep myself a-going. And this way I held steady afore my mind that I would certain come one day and see my boy, and make myself known to him on his own ground.
He laid his hand on my shoulder. I shuddered at the thought that for anything I knew, his hand might be stained with blood.
It warn't easy, Pip, for me to leave them parts, nor yet it warn't safe, but I held to it, and the harder it was, the stronger I held, for I was determined, and my mind made up. At last I'd done it. Dear boy, I'd done it.
I tried to collect my thoughts, but I was stunned. Throughout, I had seemed to myself to attend more to the wind and the rain than to him. Even now, I could not separate his voice from those voices, though those were loud and his was silent.
Where will you put me?
He asked presently.
I must be put somewheres, dear boy.
To sleep? Said I.
Yes, and to sleep long and sound, he answered, for I've been sea-tossed and sea-washed months and months. My friend and companion, said I, rising from the sofa, is absent. You must have his room. He won't come back tomorrow, will he? No, said I, answering almost mechanically, in spite of my utmost efforts. Not tomorrow. Because, looky here, dear boy, he said, dropping his voice and laying a long finger on my breast in an impressive manner. Caution is necessary. How do you mean, caution? By gee, it's death. What's death? I was sent for life. It's death to come back. There's been over much coming back of late years, and I should have certainly be hanged if took.
We'll go ahead and stop there for this week. As usual, I want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, as it greatly helps the channel. Light be with you all. Take care, and thanks again.